Today's video, we are doing Module 2, Lesson 14, and we're just continuing subtracting those mixed numbers. So yesterday we were able to find the common denominator with one of the denominators in either the minuend or the subtrahend. So today we are going to have to be changing both of those denominators. There's really not much else for me to teach you today. This is really just a reinforcement of what we have learned over the last couple of weeks with changing the denominators, making sure that we have common denominators. And something that I really want to emphasize today is if I have a number like 9 minus 5, I can take 5 away from 9. I cannot take 9 away from 5. So we definitely have to pay attention to the verbiage of that today as we are thinking about changing those denominators and borrowing from that minuend. So let's first of all remember that our minuend is our first number. So my minuend is the number that I am taking something away from, and my subtrahend is the number that is being taken away. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start by just looking at both of these, and I'm just going to go ahead and make these mixed numbers that have the same denominator. So I hope that we are fluent enough to be able to know that I'm going to pick 15 for this common denominator. Okay, and that is simply because the least common denominator for 3 and 5 is going to be 15. We should be pretty comfortable with that by now. Okay, now in order to get from 3 to 15, I have to multiply by 5, meaning I need to do the same to the top. 2 times 5 is 10. In order to get from 5 to 15, I need to multiply by 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm looking at 9 and 10 twelfths minus 5 and 12 fifteenths. Now, I cannot take 12 away from 10. Therefore, I am going to have to borrow. So I'm going to go ahead and just write this as a note. I cannot take 12 fifteenths away from 10 fifteenths. So I have to rename the minuend. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I'm going to rename this 9 and 10 fifteenths by decomposing it, okay? Now, you don't have to do all of this on the side if you are able to just do it in your brain. So I'll show you this way with the number bond like we've been doing. I'll have 8 15 fifteenths and 10 fifteenths. Okay, so as I change this mixed number to a different way of looking at it, I'm going to have 8 and 15 plus 10 is 25. 8 and 25 fifteenths minus 5 and 12 fifteenths. Okay. Now I can do my whole number minus my whole number. So 8 minus 5 to get 3. Then I can do 25 fifteenths minus 12 fifteenths to get 13. That is 13 fifteenths. Okay, so now that I have figured that out this way, I do want to show you another way. And I want you guys to understand this is like an and or, okay? I could do it this way. Say I have 9 and 10 fifteenths minus 5 and 12 fifteenths. So just pretend that we're not using this step right now, okay? we can pretend that is not there. All right? Just for now. So I could look at this as borrowing from this next thing. So say I borrow one whole and make that an 8. Well, if I borrow that one whole and bring it over here, well, 15/15 equals one whole. So I need to add that on here. So that could give me 9 25/15. And then you could solve it that way. Sorry, not 9 25/15, 8 25/15. Then we could solve it that way to still get 3 13/15. So there's so many different ways for you to be able to visualize this and solve this. There are endless ways, really. But what I want you to understand is we have to make sure that our minuend is bigger than our subtrahend because we do not want negative numbers. We're not to that yet. We're still, we're still working on the positive numbers. And once we get that down, we'll do other things. But for now, we want to make sure that we have a bigger fraction on the left side than we do on the right side in our subtraction problems. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one here and let you get those copied down. And I want you to flip over to your workbook and we will do a couple. Okay, I'm going to let you do number 1 on your own. Just a hint, we may or may not have already solved this in our notes or the notes that I did at the beginning of the video, so that might help you there. Let's look at number 2. So I have 20 5/6 minus 14 8/9. I'm going to start off by changing these denominators. Now, I don't know off the top of my head the least common multiple for 6 and 9. So I personally am going to write down some of those multiples. I'll do my bigger one first. 9, 18. Okay, I already see that 18 is a multiple of 6. 6, 12, 18. So I'm going to choose 18. Okay, to get from 6 to 18, I need to multiply by 3. So therefore, I need to do the same thing to the top. All right. To get from 9 to 18, I need to multiply by 2. So I will have 14 16/18. Now, I cannot take 16 away from 15, so I need to borrow from that 20. I'm going to make this a 19, okay? And then I'm going to add 18 to this top number. So that would be just like me taking that 20 15/18 and decomposing that into 19, 18/18 and 15/18. So this would be just like me taking this 18 and this 15 and adding them together. That will give me 33. So that would be 19 33/18. Okay, minus 14 16/18. Now that will give me 19 minus 14 is 5. 33 minus 16 is going to give me 17/18. That'll be 5 17/18. Okay, now just a few reminders. We have to make sure that we are turning our denominators to the same denominator. We have to make sure that the fraction in our minuend is bigger than our fraction in our subtrahend. Let me know if you have any questions.